And how is it going, Elder Scrolls Nation? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest Bethesda Game Studios news. With the coming and going of QuakeCon, which has essentially turned into BethesdaCon at this point, we got a lot more information to add to the palaces of hype in our minds. We got to hear all about the much loved or the much hated Fallout 76, people got to give Rage 2 some of that hands-on love, and we got to see Quake at QuakeCon. I know, imagine that, right? That's kind of crazy. But also, we got something, in my opinion, that was huge. Something that paints an awesome picture for the future of Bethesda Game Studios and gaming as a whole. And that news is Bethesda Game Studios is expanding. Again. No, I am not just talking about Bethesda Game Studios Austin, even though that is a thing, yes. I'm talking about Bethesda Game Studios Dallas, formerly Escalation Studios, because at QuakeCon, ZeniMax announced another Bethesda Game Studios expansion. That's right, another studio building the future of Bethesda Game Studios. Now, even though this was just announced, it's not new news because Escalation was acquired by ZeniMax back in 2016 and actually more or less became Bethesda Game Studios Dallas back in February of 2017, where they assisted with the development of Fallout Shelter on Nintendo Switch, and then Starfield, and now Fallout 76 as well. They also helped work on Doom back in 2016 before being moved over to Bethesda Game Studios. Now, like I said, this is major news and a great sign for things to come, and here is why. First off, with the addition of Bethesda Game Studios Dallas, the total amount of employees at Bethesda Game Studios as a whole is likely around 800. That number was 100 back when Fallout 4 was being developed, just to give you some perspective. And this is super special because back in the early 1990s, back in the pre-Morrowind days, Bethesda Game Studios had multiple studios just like they do now. Only each studio was working on their own major project, their own major game, with the senior development team and executive team such as Todd Howard overseeing each and every project. This development dynamic did not work for Bethesda at all, and it almost caused them to go out of business completely. A world without Bethesda Game Studios, I don't even think about it. Anyway, Todd Howard saw this coming and changed up the development scheme to have all of the different studios working together on one major game, which at the time was Morrowind. And luckily Morrowind did awesome and it saved Bethesda Game Studios, and here we are today. Ever since that point back then, Todd Howard says that Bethesda will never have multiple studios working on separate major projects like that again. They'll all work together using the unique individual talents of the staff to all work together on one massive game or two, with maybe another one in pre-production. Meaning that Bethesda Game Studios as a whole, including BGS Austin and now BGS Dallas, are all working on Fallout 76 and Starfield, and they are in pre-production for the Elder Scrolls 6. And possibly Spy Team, like I discovered recently and covered in this video here, but I'll cover that information more in a future video. Now, with all this in mind, I think we're witnessing an amazing thing in the gaming industry. We're witnessing the very beginning of a golden age for Bethesda Game Studios. They have always had the talent and the vision, but now they have the hype, the success, and the money. And even more so, they have most likely over 800 employees now, meaning not only are we going to get BGS games more often, but they'll be even better and will further push the bar when it comes to gaming and open world RPGs and who knows what else. And as always, let me know what you think about all of this, Elder Scrolls Nation. If your comment wins the internet, I may feature it in a future video. And be sure to subscribe or check to make sure that you are still subscribed, as YouTube has randomly been unsubscribing people lately without their knowledge. Follow me on Twitter for the latest news and memes, and check out my Twitch channel where I stream almost daily. And if you want to have your hand in defending the channel and providing future content, then consider subscribing to me on Patreon. Links to all of these things are in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when ZeniMax announces their newest studio, Bethesda Game Studios Earth.
It just works.